welcome to Life on Pig Row on what is a cool autumnal day, but at least it's dry after nearly 2 weeks of rain. And today we're planting is Troy F1. You can get this from most seed merchants. You plant winter onions from late October right through to November. You can put them straight into ground or into modules in the greenhouse and start them off there. Once they're growing in the greenhouse, you can transplant them outdoors. Obviously you might have to harden them off over a 2-week period. That's why we prefer planting them directly outdoors in the north. So this is what a tiny onion looks like. You'll notice two differences. So this is the top, which you can see here, and this is the base where the roots come out. You're advised not to just push it into the ground like some people do, because you can damage the roots. It's absolutely true about pushing the onion into the ground. If you think about it like you, if I came along, and I'm quite a big bloke, and I pushed you down and kept pushing you down, in the end your legs would crumple down on itself just from the sheer weight of me on you. And it's the same with that. If you push this down, you're going to crush its little legs, or its roots as we call it, and they won't grow. This is called the basal root, and if you damage that, no onion, none whatsoever. So Andrew, I hear you ask, how do we plant our winter onions? Well, it's really simple. All you need is a trowel and your winter onion, and all you do, make a hole, pop it in, make sure just the tip is showing, and there you go. That's your winter onion in the ground. And then you repeat. You can use the trowel to space it out. I put it about there. Again, repeat, and into the ground it goes. Make sure you don't drop it in the hole. And there we go, 2 onions. Now I've got another 300 to do. The onions are now all in. I don't know if you can see, we'll just go in so you can see, and you'll notice that I've staggered the rows. That means I can get more onions in. I could leave it now and just walk away, but like many gardeners, we have little fluttery things called birds that come into the garden, and they're really interested. At the moment as I'm doing this, there's 2 robins darting around, and when they see a little bit of onion sticking out above the soil, they'll go, I wonder if that's Mr. Worm, and they pluck it out. And they do that quite a lot over the growing season. So to protect it, can you hear that? Pheasants. We have pheasants around here, and pheasants again come in, num 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 num, and eat stuff. So to be safe, what I do is I net them. So now I'm going to show you how to make a really simple cage for your onions. You don't have to be fancy. I'm using some pieces of hedge that I cut out earlier in spring that I've used as bean supports this year. So what I'm going to do with them is I've cut them down to about 2.5 foot. You can still see where the earth is from where it's been a bean support, so I know how deep to go with it, and I'm going to drive 6 of these in, 1 in each corner and 1 in the middle. You'll see as I'm doing it. So I'm going to the far end, away from the first row of onions, and I'm just going to drive it in using my weight. And there you are, there's the first one in. And then again, away from the final row of onions, drive it in. Again, just using my weight. So there's the 6 posts in. I could leave it now and just put pots on top of each of the posts and just drape my netting across. The problem is though, in winter it can get quite windy up here, and I've seen cages that I've made like this just go. So I'm going to have a bit of insurance, and I'm going to put some crossbars across and tie them on with string. So it's not particularly difficult to do. All you need is some string, a pair of secateurs, and the crossbar, which again is a bit of hedge cutting that we've used this year for the bean support. And then it's just a over after doing this, what you cut off, you can just add it back to the ball. It's weather like this that really gets into my joints and really makes it painful to do stuff like this, but after this I'm going to go in and have a lovely hot bath. That's the plus side of being a gardener, plenty of hot baths. Pull it up like so. And then it's just a matter of tightening up as we go along. So that's the rustic cage that I've just used old hedge cuttings to make, which I've also used as bean supports this year. Really useful thing to do. I think it looks really good as well, especially when it's got the netting across, which I'm going to do now. Piece of advice with netting: always get a net bigger than the space you're going to cover. It's a lot easier, and the netting is on. I've pegged it down, and I've also used bricks to weigh down the netting as well at the bottom. You can do this by scrunching it up and rolling it over, and that way your crops are secure no matter what you're planting this winter. So as the sun wanes over the horizon, there it goes. It's goodbye from Life on Big Grow. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe. We try to put up a new video once a week on a Saturday. Until then, bye bye.